that in the past few weeks they have lengthened to more than 30 minutes at a stretch. In 3 months he will be housebound. In 6, he'll be awake for only an hour each day.
You know, you can always visit me at the clinic if the fugues get to be too much for you.
I don't have them anymore, Dr. Franklin.
What?
I found a way of dealing with them.
Oh, you mean all this flying around? All you did was frighten Trippett.
You know, there is a way out, Doctor. A way out of time.
How?
So, you're interested.
Of course I am, Slade. I haven't much time left.
I know. And that's why Marion and I are going to help you.
Marion? What's my wife got to do with all this? Slade, come back here.
While Franklin walks back to the car, Slade's plane heads for the gleaming hotels of Las Vegas.
This is the drama show on Phonic FM, Wheel 789GB. Sitting in for the storyteller. I'm still going to say that, although the storyteller is, I think he's going to stay with the Witzefendiel Theatre somewhere in the south of France, near Spain, I think it is. Below the snow line, allegedly, though some of the photographs suggest otherwise. So this is a sort of set of clips that I've found and putting together. Some of them from the Witzefendiel Theatre, but others that I'm finding in other places. And I'm trying to expand that as well, because although this is advertised on Phonic FM as the drama show, I'm using other bits and pieces. So quite a lot of music gets into it. And also I'm relating to the Wild Show and the We Not Know show, which are the shows I mostly do, or used to do before the lockdown. We are in a time warp. The stories of J.G. Ballard are very, very suitable, and I feel okay about slicing them up as well. If I get more sound samples, I may edit them down. Depends how things fit together, but I'm going to try and play things complete if I find some more available. The reason I'm expanding it is that I think there's other things going on with radio in different ways, or forms of sound online, and it's just a way of relating to more things, maybe from social media, but maybe through FM. Not quite sure. My own situation, I'm basically locked away in an attic, so radio makes some sense, and other things as well. The We Not Know show, the most popular extract is the intro music, which we put up there just as a sort of fallback if we couldn't get to the CD player as the show starts. When there is a phonic studio, it's quite intensively used, but the instrumental version turns out to be quite popular on my YouTube channel. Will Pollard, you look for that. It's Rougemont Global Broadcasting as well. But there's lots of people interested in the instrumental track. Here is a track with vocals.
Somebody else, but as time went on, I had a talk with my mind. Friends like you and you, I gotta leave behind, and I'm saying. I'll never see them again. Friends and enemies my phone rings off the wall. But these are my friends, and that's so what they say. Constantly taken from me every day. And you say, call me a friend, but you're only around for this. And I'll never see you if I had no reason. I'll never see them again. I'm paying my own bills, and I'll never, ever depend on you. Call me a friend, but you're only around for this. And I'll never see you if I had no reason. I'll never see them again. I'm paying my own bills, and I'll never, ever depend on you. I'm starting to believe what it feels like. I'll never see them again. Sons of soul, y'all.
If I Had No Loot, Tony, 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 and the instrumental version will be later in the show. Around about this time, I had thought there would be a shop window somewhere in Exeter with some art showing a link between sort of trading visitors to Exeter and what comes out of Exeter as well. But it's been postponed. Because of the pandemic, because everybody's locked down. Though there are other things going on. I think there will be things at Make Tank, which might include some sort of artwork, but it might include sound as well. So I've been trying to find out what that sound might be, and there'll be some sound later in the show that I've found via Collider. I've taken to tweeting Will789GB as messaging, and sometimes other people find the message and the result, even if it doesn't make much sense as it starts out. Anyway, the other thing is that the original proposal, as far as we could understand it, we thought it was how to make use of a shop. But it turns out it had to be flat art that went in the window. We were wondering if an empty shop could be used as a studio. So that's why later in this show there's more from Chris Norton and producer Joe D. And this drama show might end up as a sort of wild show at some point. The first thought we had was going back to Visible Girls, because when that was in the Phoenix Gallery, there was a teenage bedroom as part of the exhibit, and Joe D and myself wanted to work out how to do this as a sort of studio, but we haven't. Although we've been tweeting about it and nobody's objected, we haven't really got permission to reuse that material as part of a studio. So we may come back to that if there's a budget available. But in the meantime, I'm thinking about it as a sort of extension of the Widsith and Deal Theatre. Because during the Respect Festival and also the Exeter Street Arts Festival, the Teapot appears, and it's a sort of centre, it's a sort of stage resource, and it might be somewhere like the Cathedral Green, somewhere like that. And because everything they do is Creative Commons, I feel quite happy about borrowing photographs or recreating bits and pieces, or we might even get a budget for some masks, something like that. So if an empty shop space or an empty mall even was available, I think some form of radio studio could exist quite easily. And in terms of visuals, the Widsith and Deor TP and surroundings would be one way of approaching it. So very soon there will be a story about liars, but in the meantime, a couple of clips that I've prepared earlier. These shows might be confusing for you, but they're quite confusing for me, recording bits and pieces separately and then editing them together. Anyway, the story about liars is coming up quite soon.
So lately, I've been wondering if this time plague is because we broke some unwritten rule.
What kind of rule?
Perhaps we committed some kind of evolutionary crime when we left our planet and headed out into space.
You mean we're being punished with the fugues?
Possibly.
But how could you ever prove any of this?
Right now, it's just a theory. Come on, let's go back to the clinic.
As they move along the highway, Franklin realizes he'll have to be careful. Slade's fugues should have become longer by now, yet somehow he's keeping them at bay. All that violent energy in his skull will one day push apart.
Dr. Franklin, listen.
What?
Trippett is sitting up and alertly peering out the window.
There will be more of this on social media, Will789GB, because I do realise I can rave on far too long for radio. But just a detail that should interest people in the Southwest, academics in the Southwest. I've come across, I think you pronounce this Wonk HE. It's a website I've come across through Twitter and various online events. And this is an article by Harriet Barnes from the British Academy. Are we seeing new cold spots emerge in humanities provision in the UK? So that's the main thing about this article. But then humanities are now less than a tenth of the student cohort, and this decline can be seen in all UK regions except the Southwest, where numbers have risen. And then it goes on, Northern Ireland and Wales are different to that. So that's all. It's just a little mention in there. But I'd just like to ask the question: is that actually true? I'm sure it's true in some sense, but in what way is it true, and why? And then also maybe there's some benefit could come from that. The Southwest may not be the centre of technology innovation, but if it is a place for humanities, what are they calling it? SHAPE, social science, humanities and arts for people and the economy. Anyway, any comments, please send us some MP3 or tweet Will789GB. Now a short clip by John McDonnell from a Zoom broadcast, well, I'm calling it a broadcast, from a national rent strike, mostly organised from Manchester, I think. And I might include more of this in my play, or around about my play of the siege of the Fortress University. But I'm just at the moment regarding that as a kind of stuck story to come back to later on. and just uploading short bits and pieces as part of these shows.
You've started something so big and so important. It is, education has been dominated, like most of society in the last 40 years, by the hegemony of neoliberalism. And it's changed education. I keep saying, almost to bore people really, but it's changed education from a gift from one generation to another into a commodity to be bought and sold. And that's what happened with the introduction of tuition fees, but also it's also happened with almost the development of a whole industrial sector around rental income as well. And it's, as the other speakers have said, this financialization process that has so infected education itself. And what you're doing, and I just have nothing but admiration for you. What you're doing is you're freeing education from these neoliberal constraints, this neoliberal hegemony. And you're doing it. I think it's step by step now. I think the rent strike is critical to this whole process of struggle around education. And I just want to say I have nothing but admiration, and the courage that people have shown as well in the face of quite significant threats and hostility, and of course the usual rubbish from the media itself. So I have nothing but admiration. But I think it's now leading on to a real debate around tuition fees again. So the next step is, once you've won the rent strike, when we move forward then to ensure that we scrap tuition fees once and for all, and then move into the discussions around student debt and how we can ensure also proper funding for universities. It's opened that debate up as well. But it is about proper funding for universities based upon restoring democracy to higher education, and so that we no longer see it as a part of some form of industrial complex. So I think you need to recognize just how important this is. I've got snow on the ground outside, but it is that analogy. You've rolled a snowball and it's picking up speed and it's picking up weight and its significance as it rolls along. So I just want to thank you. Thank you for that.
This clip from John McDonnell, I think, is very interesting, because as part of a neoliberal critique economic approach, he's talking about the university's investment in real estate, especially student accommodation, but I think it could also be buildings and hotel aspects, which was also mentioned as part of the discussion during the strike in rent strike in Manchester, and also now the national rent strike. So I haven't included longer clips from the recent event. I'm just going to concentrate on this one for the moment, just to get over the idea that it isn't only EdTech that is introducing commercial aspects to the campus or UK universities or universities on the planet. This has been going on with the real estate, and so I found out a little bit more about the hotels that are planned for Manchester. It's a 19-storey building, and there'll be two brands, 212-room Crown Plaza and 116-room Staybridge Suites, and it's a general purpose sort of hotel, but the business school is definitely part of it. Professor Fiona Devine, head of Alliance Manchester Business School, said, "This is a major milestone for this landmark development, and we look forward to offering a flexible choice of accommodation for visitors to the university, the business school and the wider city." So I don't know what the cost of the hotel is. It's a £1 billion master plan to transform the campus. So I just asked the question, would investing in an online platform have been a better investment? I think that's a reasonable question for business schools in the UK, and comparing it, for example, with what the Open University invested in FutureLearn when Peter Horrocks was Vice-Chancellor, and the £50 million that Seat Group paid for a 50% stake in FutureLearn.
A community radio station for the city and beyond.
There were liars, 4 of them, in a city. And there were only 4 people that qualified to be called liars with a capital L because they were so relentless. They lied about absolutely everything. No one could trust them. Eventually, at the 4 quarters of the city in which each of them separately lived, nobody would give them a job. Nobody would trust them with anything. Nobody would rent them a room.
We've had done with you. Now you get out of our city. You can't trust them.
Nobody would have anything to do with them. And so, by kind of a force of gravity, if you like.
Gravity my arse.
The 4 of them...
Don't you go and don't you come back.
The 4 of them met up with each other on the outskirts of the city and fell to talking because they'd all been evicted, and it was then that they found out that they had something in common, that they were the 4 liars. Well, when they realised that they were thrown together by fate, they decided that there was no point going back to their own kingdom because, well, everybody knew them there. They would go and find some new territory and blag, there's no other word for it, blag their way in another kingdom, and so off they went. However, when they got to that next kingdom, on the outskirts of it, there was a nice-looking farmhouse, and they quarrelled with each other about who was going to go and try and blag a meal off the farmer who was doing something in his front garden, ploughing something.
Siding. It's hay time.
So they argued and they quarrelled, and finally they pushed forward the youngest, and the youngest went up to the farmer and he said, Here, I bet you anything you like, right, that you want to give me and my 3 companions here a really good meal tonight.
Right.
If we tell you a most amazing tale.
You told me an amazing tale. I don't shock easy.
I can tell you something quite incredible. You won't believe it. It's amazing. Honestly, it'll be worth the meal because when I was a baby, my mother, right, she was wandering along in the forest and she saw a lion, a ruddy great lion, and she dropped me right there and then.
And you were raised by lions, and?
Yeah, I was, and I could prove it as well.
Raw.
Oh. So you're not impressed then?
No.
Oh.
I come from Devon, I don't impress easily.
So he went back to his friends, and they argued, and then they pushed the second youngest along. Here, mister, I can tell you a really amazing story. I'm
not terribly surprised by that. What was happening to thee?
No, it's incredible, honestly. Well, when I was going through the forest, when I was a baby, my mother, she dropped me when she saw a pack of wolves. And honestly, I was raised by wolves, and I can prove it. Ow! Ow, 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 ow!
I can howl better than thee. Now go about business.
Oh. And so off he went. Oh, dear. Well, now there were only 2 left, and they pushed each other, and they pulled each other about. And when the third one, he said, oh, all right, I'll go and try. Here, listen, mister.
What is that?
I've got the most amazing story. I'm sure you'll want to give me and my mates, like, dinner tonight if you... because when I was a baby and my mother took me through the forest, guess what happened? Yeah.
She dropped thee because she had a shark and you were raised by...
Well, I think it's quite impressive. I was raised by snakes. Who's ever heard of that? And I can prove it.
Ooh, snakes now. Now that's interesting. Are there any more of thee?
No.
Oh. There's a 4th one over there. Does he want to come and tell me what he was raised by?
Oh, all right. So finally, the 4th one. The 4th one, with some trepidation, it has to be said, went forward and said,
So, your mother dropped you in the middle of the forest and you were raised by...
Oh, I was raised by something. You really won't believe this. I was raised by hornets. Buzz, buzz.
Hornets! Wife! Do you hear? The 4 slaves we lost under absolutely remarkable circumstances have come back to work for us, and we will make them work. Stolen by hornets and snakes and wolves and lions. We'll have them.
Oh, no! And with that, they sprinted off into the distance.
And nobody heard from them again.
Thank you.
Online and on 106.8 FM.
A new single from Joss Stone, Walk With Me.
Walk with
through every fire in the land. Walk with me, a time of love is close at hand. Let's come together, united we stand, side by side, step by step. Walk with me, when our brothers and sisters cannot breathe, let it be known we won't back down, we won't leave. When we're facing any kind of struggle, there's a hero there trying to wash away all of your troubles. Walk with me through the drama, these days will pass. Walk with me, a time of love is close at hand. Let's come together, united we stand, side by side, step by step. Walk with me, so take a hand and let's dive into the water.
I'm very sorry, I cannot pronounce or even attempt to pronounce the titles on these songs. Barita Afro Soul is what you should look for on Twitter, and you can find Songs in the Key of Love on Amazon or other places for download or streaming, or you can find them. And if somebody would like to send me an MP3 with some good introductions, that would be very welcome as well.
106.8 FM.
The Stories of J.G. Ballard. Tonight, a question of re-entry.
Am I a prisoner? Or am I, for the first time, really free? Am I alive? Or am I dead? All these questions come to mind as once again the searchers approach.
You think I'm wasting my time, don't you?
What I think? Well, there have been rumors.
Where? What rumors?
In Brasilia. Even your own agency thinks he vaporized with the capsule during the final descent.
I've heard that, sure. It's disinformation. It's mere camouflage to placate public opinion about the space program. I wouldn't be here if my agency didn't believe there was a chance to...
Hey, look around you, Connolly. If our boat had an accident, and if you did manage to survive the river, how long do you think you'd last in the jungle? This is the Amazon. It doesn't like white men, even if they're astronauts. Or, UN investigators.
Ah, so you admit he might have made it into the forest.
Might. He might have crashed into the Bermuda Triangle.
He came down here, Pereira. We know that.
You're not the first one they sent up here looking. It's very funny, this search. Give the man a statue at the spaceport and get on with the business.
You have a convenient sense of morality, Captain Pereira. Look, how would we get anyone to attempt these dangerous missions to the moon if every time there was an accident we just gave up and forgot about them?
People will go to hell for who knows what reasons. I'm thinking of the man you'll be seeing soon at the mission. Riker.
Does Riker have an official position at the mission? I mean, is he legitimate?
We tolerate him.
Why?
He's maneuvered himself into a position of authority with the tribe. I don't know how. Well, someday we will establish a real mission here, don't we?
I thought you already had.
Well, we tried it once.
And?
They moved deeper into the jungle.
Why'd they come back?
Riker.
Mr. Riker, eh? I'm looking forward to meeting this Wonder Man.
He calls me Tommy Tom Tom, but I know who I am. In his arrogance, he thinks he knows everything. Run, Tommy. Run into the bush. Yes, run. Keep running, boy. Fetch me guavas, fruit of the devil. Ha! Yes, I run, but not for him. I am in a quiet place, my ear to the ground. Yes, they are coming.
I didn't know the Namiquaras were hostile.
They're feuding with another tribe. They make mistakes sometimes. You know how it is. Another beer?
No, thanks.
You see, Connolly, you might be the first real white man these Indians have ever seen.
Riker's white, isn't he?
Not anymore. Looks like an Indian. Except he's big. 2 meters big. You understand? You'll like this.
What does he need a clock for? The only time that matters in this godforsaken place is geologic.
He likes clocks. We all like something, Conley.
Right.
This is the third clock I've brought for Raker. I've had 3 wives.
A giant who collects antique clocks.
Yeah. Well, what do you collect? Lost spacemen?
The big white boat has arrived. We are standing like the listless creatures we are, waiting for their trinkets. Some of us for their sex. They are not all searchers. Just the one in the real uniform who is looking at me now. He will not see me, though, for I am well hidden. I am so well hidden that not even Riker can see me. He sees only Tommy Tom Tom, son of the witch doctor, the dispossessed, the slave, the youth with the dead light in his eyes.
No sign of Mr. Riker. Probably asleep or drunk.
Are those natives Nambiquaras?
Nambas, yeah.
Jesus.
There was an epidemic through here recently, influenza.
They're not exactly warriors, huh?
Warriors? No, this is a shithole, Conley. Influenza!
I should have asked you before. Are these people cannibals?
They would have been wiped out years ago if they were.
Not even white men?
Maybe you're spaceman, eh? Ahead, Sancho, move ahead. By influenza!
Ferreira! Oh, Christ! What do you think you're doing? That's my bloody outrigger you've just smoked. Tell that stupid helmsman of yours to take off the sunglasses or I'll put a bullet up his ass.
Riker, control yourself. Think of your blood pressure. Anyway, what good is that barcode to you? You never go anywhere.
So you think, Pereira. You want a mission settlement. You want me to do all the work. Watch out. Next time you stop by, you might find I've gone 1,000 kilometers upstream and taken the numbers with me.
Oh, I'm reminded of the Bible, an epic adventure, Riker.
So who's this? Another anthropologist? As I said last time, we don't want any more of those.
Can't you recognize the uniform, the Brotherhood? Let me introduce Lieutenant Connolly of the United Nations.
Pleased to...
Oh, Christ. Are they got a mandate here now? I suppose you'll bore my head off with cereal protein ratios.
The lieutenant is with the Space Department. Reclamation Division, searching for lost aircraft and things. Maybe you can help him.
When did this plane come down?
Oh, some time ago.
Been no planes falling around here?
5 years ago, I thought the Indians might...
You got a hook.
Well, look at them. They're very impressed by the lieutenant. Like this one.
Gaping fool. Out of the way, damn it, Tommy. Bugger off.
Tommy likes you, Conley.
Like a dog. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go to the house.
Let's go. Oh. These skins don't look so good, Riker. You got some rats in there.
Pereira, Jesus.
Maybe we should check them outside.
They're as good as you'll get. I had to trim them myself. Let me see that clock.
Hold on. I paid 100 cazados for this clock. Now that's your credit for about 2 years. I have to think about this. You haven't been very helpful. Now this plane...
Nothing came down here. Trust me. The Nambas tell me everything. But there's been no crash around here. Believe me, a rescue mission would be wasting time.
Actually, it wasn't a plane. It was a space capsule with a pilot. The man who went to the moon, Colonel Francis Spender.
Well. The man who went to the moon. Do you really think he came down here? Put those spears away. This isn't a hunt.
Haven't they seen a pale-skinned man before?
They've got nothing better to do. So this is the clock.
Just a minute. I have instructions to assist my friend here. And we must interview one or two of the local authorities.
I am the authority. If they'd seen anything, I'd know.
Since I've come this far, I feel I should make a couple of recons into the bush. You see, Riker, they've recalculated the flight path of the final trajectory, and there's a chance he might have come down further along the landing zone. Here, say.
I suppose that means they'll be coming here at any moment with thousands of excavators and defoliants. Hell's blazes, Lieutenant. You want to send a man to the moon, you do it from your own backyard.
I can't understand why you're so uptight about it, Riker.
Yes, Riker, take it easy. Here's something else I brought for you.
I usually drink Chivas Regal.
Yeah, so does the president of Brazil. Look, we'll be gone in a couple of days.
Why did they really send a man to the moon?
You mean the military or political reasons?
Neither. I mean the real reasons.
Well, I suppose you could say it was the natural spirit of exploration.
You believe that? The natural spirit of exploration. Christ! What a fantastic idea. Pereira doesn't believe that, do you, Captain?
Riker, this is no time for a religious discussion.
Metaphysical, maybe. Religious, no.
It doesn't matter what you believe. Someone went to the moon and came back, and he needs our help.
Anyone who gets as far as the moon and is dumb enough to come back deserves what he gets.
Riker.
Lieutenant, has it occurred to you that if he did land, your astronaut might have wanted to stay on here?
Stay on?
Yes. Settle in. Enjoy the pleasures of the jungle.
I doubt it. Anyway, there's little chance Colonel Spender is still alive. We're interested in finding the capsule.
The searcher is not so stupid. It is Riker who is stupid. He thinks he is concealing something. The secret to his magic. But there is a stronger, more secret magic he knows nothing about. It lives within the number like a child within the woman. I am not a prisoner. I go where I want. Now, I want to follow the searcher who walks like a god.
Filha de puta, this is bad. I warned you about Riker. Well, we might as well leave now. There's nothing here. He knows that. He'll just try to make a fool out of you.
How so?
Invent evidence for the money.
He was a journalist, wasn't he?
Yeah, always inventing evidence.
Has he got a radio?
A what?
Yeah, think about this. His clocks keep very good time. You said so yourself. Ever think how?
Well, he hasn't got a radio.
There's something strange about those clocks. Even the alarm clock, the cheapo from China, is right on. Within 10 seconds of my digital watch. Now, how can he get that kind of accuracy? He's getting a daily time fix, either on a radio or...
Yeah, there's something strange here.
It's time to take a look around.
Even gods are confused by the jungle, it seems. He talks to the trees. He talks to his hand. He talks to the air. Perhaps he is talking to other gods. His skin is luminous like a fish in shallow water. And he has better magic than Riker. He wears his magic on his wrist. I've tried to negotiate for it, but he thinks I am blind and dumb. Perhaps I am. But I have seen things no man has ever seen.
Orbit 1. Orbit 1. Come in, Orbit 1.
Yeah, this is Orbit 1.
Oh, your radio went out. I was about to come looking for you. Any luck?
No. Riker's in a good mood.
Plenty of bingo.
Eh?
White rum, over.
Listen, you know that kid that keeps following me around?
Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy. I tried to talk to him.
Waste of time.
I know he's suffering from ophthalmia. He's nearly blind.
Tommy, Tom. His father was the witch doctor. He's dead now.
How come? Over.
Who knows? Riker probably killed him. He's chief now. Maybe you'll be next. I need another drink.
One thing, though. I saw this hill. It's about 30, 40 meters high. Do you know it? Over.
What about it, over?
Well, the Indians are sitting on it in a circle, all dressed up. They've got their spears and feathers.
They do that.
But why?
I don't know. Maybe they're preparing to attack.
Well, I'm going back. Over now. Orbit 1 to River 1. Over.
Yes, Orbit 1.
I'm on the hill. There's no sign of the Indians.
Good.
It looks like a burial mound.
Forget it. These tribes don't bury anyone. Anything else?
Magnolia grove. Oh, yeah, some guavas.
Did you eat some?
Yes, they're a bit sour.
Don't eat too many.
Why? Are they sacred to the Nambas?
No way. You might have an unexpected bowel movement. Over.
Thanks, River 1. Over and out.
Watch out for the Nambas, Orbit 1.
I said they've gone. My equipment! What do you think you're doing? No, I want to ask you some questions. Don't I?
What? Oh, dear me. What have we here? Mr. United Nations. What have you been doing? Spying on my friends?
I'd like my radio back, please.
Yes? Well, I'm afraid it's been crushed. That's the problem with technology. Completely unreliable.
What game are you up to, Riker?
Game? You call this a game?
Yes. Running through the forest with a pack of savages. What else could it be?
You're a fool, Connolly. The jungle has its own logic.
Sure. You see this?
Another toy.
This is a monitoring device. Just before your friends attacked me, I got a reading.
A reading? Of what?
I think you know.
Do you have a reading now?
No. Your friends have also broken this piece of equipment.
You're very lucky they don't understand English.
Are you threatening me, Riker? If so...
Be careful, my friend. The Nambas are cannibals.
That's nonsense. Pereira said...
Pereira? What did he say? He wouldn't admit to a thing like that. Bad public relations.
What are you up to?
I'm conducting a religious experiment. As I said, the jungle has its own logic.
Lieutenant, here you are. I'm nearly in time to say grace.
Riker is losing control. I see it in his eyes, his clocks, his pathetic magic. It is time for me to make my move. We are watching the sky. sky, but are confused by the God who walks among us. Riker says that the time of revelation is near. He hypnotizes us with lights, false signs, bad safaris. I will avenge the murder of my father, recover the fortunes of our people, build monuments to the stars, the planets, the moon. Ah, the moon, whose light falls like death on the water.
I thought you said the Nambas weren't cannibals.
They'd never eat a white man.
No?
No. It would defile the tribe.
I'm glad I was safe. What were they doing on that hill?
Waiting for someone.
Me?
Another spaceman. They're a cargo cult, Connolly. That's their religion. They're lazy, but they're materialistic. They just sit around waiting for stuff to fall out of the sky, and Riker encourages it.
Cargo cult?
You know what that is, no?
Yes, I do. Some South Pacific tribes worship crude effigies of World War II aircraft. So you're saying the Nambas are using the space capsule as a cargo cult? Where is it?
I don't know. Buried in the hill, maybe?
Yes. And the astronaut, Colonel Spender?
I don't know.
I'm going to check out Riker's room.
Be careful.
Huh? Hello, kid. What are you doing here? Huh? What? Oh, yes, star. Yes, yes. That's a satellite. Echo. How'd you know it was passing?
Because I understand celestial magic, Connolly.
What you need is a set of tables, courtesy of NASA. But you can't read, of course. What? My watch? Incredible. You figured it out. You've rumbled old man Riker, haven't you? You really are the son of a witch doctor. You and me, kid, we figured out Riker's magic.
I have my own magic.
What have you got there? Looks interesting.
We will exchange presents as one god to another.
Okay, I get it. I give you my watch. You give me yours.